If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. In a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities.
Election times a pointer to enhance executive legislature relations as Speaker calls on Vice President. Countdown AFCON 2019, NTA and Sports set for Africa Football Fiesta. Good evening. I am Jumbo Yusuf. Michael Olale is also reading tonight from Lagos. Thanks for joining us. We begin with a meeting that signals the beginning of a cordial working relationship between the executive and legislature, as expected by Nigerians. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo this Monday hosted Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila at the presidential villa in Abuja. Shortly after the meeting, the Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila told reporters that his meeting with the Vice President was mainly on issues of national importance. He hinted further that House would carry out reforms in piecemeal and build on whatever achievements on the 8th Assembly for the benefit of the people.
How to move forward, starting a roadmap about how to confront the problems that face Nigeria today. And those are the issues we discussed. It wasn't a personal visit. I can call it a hybrid with personal and official, but mostly official, addressing the issues of the problem, how the executive and the legislature can collaborate to make life better for Nigeria and Nigerians.
State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that Speaker Gbajabiamila says new committees will emerge very soon and calls for the cooperation of the media and other Nigerians for the National Assembly to carry out the assignments successfully. Meanwhile, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila has inaugurated 3 ad hoc committees to ensure smooth takeoff in synergy with other arms of government. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the move is to ensure that legislative activities of the 9th Assembly commenced in earnest.
Ad hoc committees inaugurated are the Media, Welfare and Selection Committee, which, according to the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, are tasked with coordinating activities in managing affairs of the House of Representatives pending the setting up of standing committees. The committees are also to ensure that the entire 360 members of the House of Representatives are carried along in the task of lawmaking for good governance.
Take it very seriously. We will work with you, myself and the Deputy Speaker, in terms of allocation, in terms of you'll have a free hand to do whatever you want to do, but we will guide as well in terms of how it's done traditionally. You take those 2 principal responsibilities very, very serious, and that by the 3rd of July, members will have their seats. We need to close this responsibility, this task, at least 2-3 days before resumption, because we go around to inspect what and to know that it's been done properly.
Membership of the Selection and Welfare Committee consists of 1 representative each from the 36 states of the Federation. The Speaker urged members of the 3 committees to discharge the assignments with due diligence in view of the limited time. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
From the judiciary, the Supreme Court has fixed the 5th of July 2019 to deliver judgment on the the Osun State governorship election. This is sequel to the closing of arguments by counsel to both Ademola Adeleke of the PDP, the appellant, and Governor Boyega Ayotela of the APC. Olabode Arewa reports.
The acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Tako Muhammad, led other six-man panel of justices in hearing the appeal filed by the PDP candidate Ademola Adeleke against the victory of Governor Boyega Ayotela in the election. 4 separate appeals were filed by the appellant to challenge the verdict of the Court of Appeal, which reaffirmed the victory of Boyega Ayotela as the duly elected governor of the state. However, the Apex Court ruled that the appellant should consolidate 3 of the 4 cases pending before it. In the principal matter, Onyechi Ekpeazu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, counsel to Ademola Adeleke, pleaded with the court to restore Adeleke's victory, saying the inconclusive election of the 22nd of September 2018 showed that Adeleke won at least 50% of the lawful votes cast in at least 2/3 of the state, adding that INEC had to have relied on its guidelines instead of the provisions of Section 178, subsection 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Counsel to Ayotela, Wale Olanipekun, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and that of INEC, Yusuf Ali, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, pointed the attention of the court to alleged inconsistencies in Adeleke's claims, saying the 1999 Constitution as amended was clear on the requirements for declaring a winner in the governorship election, a requirement not met by Adeleke. They urged the Supreme Court to dismiss the suits for lacking in merit.
There's a defect. We had argued that there's a defect in the notice of appeal, in the sense that they refer to themselves as respondents instead of appellants. And if the court agrees with us, it means that's a fundamental defect.
They raise objection that we wrongly inserted the name of respondent as opposed to the appellants, and we have corrected that error. That is just a mere mistake. That does not change the position of the counsel who appeared in respect of this matter, and that we maintain consistency.
The Court of Appeal had earlier declared Ayotela as the winner of the election, thereby overturning the tribunal judgment which gave Adeleke victory at the election. Both verdicts were split judgments. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Youth Corps members who performed excellently during the 2019 general elections at ad-hoc staff across the country will be given automatic employment by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Olaika Ojo reports that INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu made this known in Abuja.
When Ibre Oje, a graduate of Educational Administration and Planning from the University of Calabar, gave her best during the 2019 general election serving in Kebbi State, little did she know that her commitment, dedication, and high sense of patriotism would be rewarded in the future. That future was not long. Just 3 months after, she joined 74 other Youth Corps members rewarded by the European Union for doing well during the polls.
You need to see us on waters as if we wanted to capsize. In fact, there was no time for us to even take pictures, for us to show Nigerians that we took risks.
The EU gave out a set of laptops and phones, each to the likes of OJ, for commitments and contributions towards ensuring free, fair, and credible polls.
Nobody deserves it more than you do. I've seen the hardship that some of you have to endure. You are really, truly amazing ambassadors. The journey has just begun.
INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu acknowledged the immense contribution of Youth Corps members to the conduct of elections in Nigeria.
There are many of you not in this hall who did very well in the elections. We'll identify you and will reward those who have done excellently in the elections with automatic employment in INEC.
Our collaboration with INEC has gone to showcase that without the NYC, things at times will not work.
Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
As the world marks 2019 edition of the African Child, Nigerian children have also been making recommendations on how the African child can remain relevant and compete favorably in the global scene. One of their recommendations is an effective framework to protect the rights of the child to be in place. Elizabeth Omori reports.
Also recognized Deputy Deputy Director representing PERMSEC, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
At a glance, they looked like new intakes, ready to audition for a theatre performance. Little did we know that they are the compass for the program. They are the future of the African continent with great potential that when fully harnessed will build the prosperity of the continent. As they celebrate their day, factors that impede their growth such as molestation, modern slavery, mutilation, child labor, early marriage and poverty, they described in strong terms as barbaric.
Without them, you have no continent. Without them, there's no culture.
I would love to change the fact that children are usually trafficked every single day. We always find children on the road. I want them to have good education.
As they bear their minds on cultural and social issues affecting them, they used the occasion to remind government, parents and society to take the protection of the rights of the African child as priority.
These rights must therefore be safeguarded by one and all, and most particularly by the family.
Make sure you study, to excel in life.
I want the African child to be healthy.
The children advocated education, qualitative health care, balanced meals, security and protection from all forms of abuse. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has emphasized the need for women to continue to be role models in various fields of endeavors. This, she says, will inspire the younger generation to contribute meaningfully to national development. Mrs. Buhari stated this at a dinner in honor of the members of Guards Brigade female military and police officers who participated at the parade during the maiden edition of June 12 Democracy Day celebration. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
These are the smiley faces of the gallant female military and police officers who entertained both domestic and international guests with what many refer to as brilliant performance during the maiden edition of June 12 Democracy Day Parade at Eagle Square, Abuja. The discipline, passion, and the high sense of professionalism they displayed at the event is what attracted the First Lady of Nigeria to have resolved to honor them this evening with optimism of gingering them to do more in their service to the nation.
It is with all sense of pride and happiness I watched your recent display of high sense of commitment, patriotism, professionalism, and dedication through your performance. On those landmark occasions, the accuracy, discipline, and focus with which you all carried at your assigned tasks is worthy of commendation.
Mrs. Buhari is particularly delighted with their courage and confidence, as some of them are wives and mothers, yet they have broken gender barriers to excel in what is generally believed to be a man's world.
Let me say you have won the hearts of Nigerians, including mine. You have also endeared many young ladies and even men to join military service and contribute in the protection of our dear nation, Nigeria.
The underlying messages in their performance indicate that women are also capable and can do well when given responsibilities.
While expressing appreciation for this recognition, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, alongside Commander Guards Brigade, Brigadier General Umar Thama Musa, described the development as unprecedented, adding that the responsibility they have exhibited is indelible in the minds of Nigerians.
It is therefore right to say that all citizens that have had the opportunity of participating in the series of events have registered their indelible services in the history books of our nation.
This event is very significant as it will boost the morale of my female soldiers.
You have, through this gesture and your innovative
leadership style inspired us to dream more.
The young female officers of Guard Brigades is the combination of the military formation comprising Nigerian Army, the Navy, Air Force, and the Nigerian Police. The State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Nigeria is reassuring the West African sub-region that it will not abdicate its leadership role in the region for the continuous promotion of peace, democracy and development. This was contained in a message to a reception for delegates to the recently concluded ECOWAS Administration and Finance Committee meeting in Abuja by Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Mustafa Suleiman. Foreign Desk correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
After intensive discussions brainstorming on the funding of the ECOWAS Commission and the management of its organs, members of the Administration and Finance Committee were hosted by Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Here, they were welcomed by Director, Planning, Research and Statistics, Lord Egopija, on behalf of the Permanent Secretary, Ambassador Mustafa Suleiman.
I would like to assure you of Nigerians' commitment in collaboration with ECOWAS Commission and its institution for the promotion of peace and political stability in the region.
Members of the committee emphasized the strategic significance of the body and were full of praises for Nigeria.
Brilliant discussions. It is an organ whereby they discuss virtually every ECOWAS issue.
We hope Nigeria will continue being the big brother in our sub-region, followed by Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire and all the others. But we owe a debt of gratitude to the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for standing there in the name of regional integration and in the name of peace and security.
The decisions of the committee will form the agenda for the ECOWAS Council of Ministers meeting leading to the summit of the heads of state. In Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
And from Geneva, Nigeria has urged the International Labour Organization to guarantee inclusiveness and equity of representation in all regions in the governance structures of the ILO to correct the international arrangement of reserving permanent seats for the industrialized nations. This formed part of the focus of Nigeria while addressing the parliament at the ongoing 108th session of the International Labour Conference of the ILO in Geneva, Switzerland. Emmanuel Anyemiro completes the story.
This year's session of the International Conference of the ILO coincides with the organization's centenary celebration, where about 6,000 delegates from 187 member nations are participating. The occasion provides an opportunity for every member nation to present issues of concern. For Nigeria, where the first ILO office in Africa was established in 1959, it is time again to push for more recognition.
We use this opportunity to renew our request for the upgrading of the ILO Centenary Office in Abuja, which also covers Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Gambia, to the status of a decent work sub-regional office to serve the English-speaking countries of West Africa.
On the need for inclusiveness and social justice for all, the ILO Director General, Guy Ryder, gave a strong commitment.
This conference will, of course, strike a blow against abuse which should offend the basic standards of decency of each and every one of us, and we have to do this.
While Nigeria is advocating equity in the ILO structure to consider every region, one common feature at the ongoing conference is the need for the entire world to come together with the ILO to develop a synergy that will provide solutions to the challenges arising from the future of work as the organization begins another centenary journey. From the ILO conference in Geneva, Switzerland, Emmanuel Anyemiro, NTA News.
This is the NTA Network News. The news returns after the break. Join us again.
Everybody
In all the cities and all the streets, in all the places where people meet, from Nigeria to Uganda, got you talking. You are the one that's buying to keep you talking. Yeah! Talking. We got people talking. We got people talking. We've got people. From east to west to south, everywhere they cover, they know the mouth.
With 5 times bonus to call all networks on every recharge, we get you talking.
Keep talking.
Glow Unlimited.
Da dunkule da garin Mr. Chef Seasoning. Kowace miya abar marmari ce. Ni ce ta farko. Mr. Chef mai sanya marmarin gaske.
Welcome to South Africa, your own personal playground.
Allow us to spoil and pamper you.
And delight you with our favorite local flavors. Allow us to show you the full VIP experience.
Allow us to indulge your shopping desires.
And show you the places closest to our hearts.
Allow us to cater to your every need.
It takes a lot of people to make your holiday special. Fortunately, we have 54 million of them.
As the number of people they born they reduce, now so the money with them they get to spend they increase. Enough proof don't they to show say countries where them families they born, the number of people where they fit take care of, they stress to take care of the children, no they plenty at all for the family. If this fit they enjoy this kind of benefit expenses they too much. You fit imagine how you go fit help boost country economy like Nigeria own. As leader where you be, the solution they your hand. And what you need to do now to take action now. All we lawmakers and everybody where they power and government. Make sure say them put enough money down. We go make sure say child breast spacing where plenty people sabi family planning service full everywhere. Our pastors, imam, and traditional leaders suppose open mouth tell them people about the better thing where child spacing they do. This work now our handy day. We get the full responsibility to do them. We must join hand and get it together. Make our future for bright. Now Federal Ministry of Health they bring you this message.
Are you okay?
I'm in pain, so it has been like this for the past 1 week.
Let me assist you to the hospital. You can't continue like this alone.
No. I want to go and see Baba Muslimi to give me some herbal mixture so that I can take. Because this hospital, the way they treat person, I'm not going to the hospital.
Mr. Shegu, that was in the past. With new patients' bill of rights, patients have the right to an urgent, immediate, and sufficient intervention and care. A right to complain and experience dissatisfaction where and when necessary. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, your consumers' rights are protected.
To lay your complaint, please contact any of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission's FCCPC offices closest to you with your complaints. You can also call our helplines at 0805 600 2020 or 0805 600 3030.
Please, let us go to the hospital. I'd like to experience this firsthand.
At FCCPC, you can rely on us to resolve your complaints effectively and efficiently.
Enjoy the best of African football as NTA, Africa's largest television network and hotspot, Nigeria's foremost sports production and marketing company, bring you all 52 matches of the Africa Cup of Nations, Egypt 2019 live from June 21 to July 19, 2019. Yes, all All 52 games will hit your screens in crystal clear digital quality. It's your guarantee of a memorable viewing experience and a wonderful cost-effective opportunity for corporate Nigeria to reach 10 millions of Nigerians. For sponsorship and commercial support, contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. Hot Sports, masters of the game. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Thanks for staying. The establishment of Operation Puff Adder has continued to make impact as a total of 424 kidnappers have been arrested between May and June this year. The Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, disclosed this during a meeting with senior officers of the force. Doing Dia reports.
This conference of the Inspector General of Police and senior officers is the first after the May 29 presidential inauguration and June 12 Democracy Day celebrations, which set the stage for the next level agenda. It then builds on these officers who are in charge of internal security across the states of the Federation to review their strategies. First to be mentioned was the success of the two national events held across the country.
It was also the result of the sacrifice, courage, zeal, and exceptional dedication of police commanders and other ranks.
Activities of bandits, armed robbers, kidnappers, and other criminals that have caused the loss of lives and property took the center stage, all of which are strategically being degraded by Operation Puff Adder.
A total of 10,860 ammunition of various descriptions and caliber were recovered, while a total of 301 firearms, including the rocket launcher, AK-47 rifles, pistols, and locally made guns, were similarly recovered from criminal elements across the country, with the highest number of 80 from Katsina State.
The Nigerian police force pledged to intensify operational strategies to beef up internal security in the country. In Abuja, Doing Dia, NT News.
Southeast governors on the edges of Southeast Governors Forum have urged the people of the zone to disregard the trending fictitious and mischievous story on social media allegedly credited to the leaders of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Southeast Zone, that Southeast will soon boil due to the governor's alleged refusal to give grazing land for cattle colonies. Jude Abugu has details.
The governors who spoke through the forum's Director General, Professor Simon Otuanya in Enugu, stated that the story did not in any way emanate from Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, as the leaders of the group, both at the national and Southeast Zone, have refuted the statement. The alleged statement, which has been circulating on different social media platforms, online sites and forums, according to the Director General, Southeast Governors Forum, is a calculated attempt by some mischief makers to cause disaffection and create tension in the zone. He urged the people of the zone to disregard such disinformation and desist from its further dissemination.
The National Secretary of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association wrote to the chairman of Southeast Governors Forum and described the statement as fictitious and that of a ghost writer.
Director General also restated the position of the Southeast governors on the issue of grazing reserve and cattle colonies, stating that the zone suffers gross inadequacy of arable land for agriculture, which is the main economic stay of the Southeast. The governors also urged the people of the zone to be law-abiding and go about their lawful businesses. In Enugu, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
Now on to security matters. The Nigerian Air Force says its Air Task Force of Operation Lafiya Dole has degraded another Boko Haram hideout in Sambisa Forest. In a statement by NAF Director Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukule Daramola, the operation was executed on June 16, 2019, after persistent intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance mission revealed presence of Boko Haram terrorists at a new camp with several structures hidden under the thick foliage of the forest. Accordingly, an Alpha jet was dispatched to attack the location with devastating effects on several of camouflage structures and neutralizing the Boko Haram occupants. Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umara Zulum has sympathized with victims of the Konduga suicide bomb attack in Konduga, currently receiving treatment at the State Specialist Hospital in Maiduguri, the state capital. The governor has directed that the medical bills of all victims will be borne by the state government. Mohammed Guni reports.
Governor Babagana Umara Zulum, while on a sympathy visit to the victims of the bombers, reiterated his administration's commitment to strengthen the system of the hospitals in responding to the emergencies. He directed the hospital management to immediately submit their requirements for the expansion of the emergency unit.
We may not know what will happen. We are not praying, but we have to ensure that apart from the support we are receiving from the donor partners, we must strengthen our system to respond to such emergency cases.
The Chief Medical Director, Borno State Specialist Hospital, Dr. Laraba Bello, who received the governor, took him around the wards to see the victims, where a total of 42 people were admitted at various wards, according to the degrees of injuries, while some of them have already been discharged. Director Rescue Operations of the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, updated the number of death persons to 30. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with families of the victims of the bomb blast at a viewing center in Madarari, Kondiga local government area of Borno State. In a statement by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari decries the heinous act, stressing that such perpetrators have judgment awaiting them, not only from man via the long arms of the law, but also from God Almighty. He urges security agents to sustain surveillance in all theaters of security challenges of the country, taking into consideration the unconventional methods deployed by terrorists to harm innocent and unsuspecting victims, while commending the efforts of emergency response workers and humanitarian organizations. The president praised God to grant the souls of the departed eternal rest and comfort their families. The Nigerian High Commission in Ghana has condemned some media reports demonizing Nigerians, especially that which portrays Nigerians living in Ghana as a bunch of criminals. In a statement signed by the Nigerian ambassador to Ghana, Olufemi Michael Abikwe, made reference to a recent Ghanaian publication saying that it is unfortunate that some section of the Ghanaian press, both print, electronic and social media, have enjoyed a field day castigating Nigerians, which is seen as a fraternal brother to Ghana. This development has caused untold pain, agony and apprehension to law-abiding Nigerians living in Ghana. The statement reaffirms that the Nigerian High Commission in Ghana will not in any way condone any act of criminality by any of its citizens. The ambassador described as unfortunate an incident where 5 Ghanaians in company of 3 Nigerians were allegedly involved in a kidnap case, but the media erroneously reported the case as a crime committed by Nigerians only. The ambassador cautioned the media to be circumspect in handling such matters so as not to jeopardize the long-standing relations between the two countries, which enjoys expression between President Muhammadu Buhari and Nana Akufo-Addo. And Chairman CEO Nigerians in Diaspora Commission Honorable Dabiri Arewa has condemned the action of a 32-year-old Nigerian, Jeffrey Iwehime, who destroyed several properties of the Nigerian embassy in London as despicable and condemnable. In a statement by her media aide, Abdurrahman Balogun said that such an attitude was unpatriotic and an unconscionable act of indiscipline. The suspect has approached the embassy to collect his passport, which expired since November 2017 at about 2 p.m. and was told collection of passport closes at 1 p.m. He then insisted on collecting his passport and was told to bring his collection slip, which he could not produce. According to reports from the embassy, it would of course be wrong to hand over his passport to him without his collection slip. He therefore left agitated, returned from a nearby hotel to destroy about 7 cars belonging to the mission and 2 to visitors who parked nearby. Dabiri Arewa employed Nigerians abroad to exercise restraint and be good ambassadors of Nigeria at all times, in all circumstances. The suspect has been arrested by the police. Africa Africa is perceived by many as one section of the world where people are inclined to wait for bad news. Therefore, what is good news, even if it's extraordinary, often becomes little of no interest. All of this special specificity and stereotypes is what the Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization is attempting to address through an international conference in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Chinwe Ezenwa is a Nigerian promoter of African heritage. She, however, believes that the aims of Pan-Africanism are far from being accomplished, even with the formation of the Organization of African Unity, now African Union.
By promoting made in Nigeria bags and accessories, we export them and we can repatriate the huge foreign exchange earnings the country is in dire need of.
Chinwe joins other participants at this conference to re-examine the concept of Pan-Africanism and its relevance in the 21st century through deployment of arts and culture to better the fortunes and future of Africa.
The perennial conflicts guiding poverty, hunger and disease, terrorism and all manners of social, cultural, economic and political challenges ravaging the continent, it becomes pertinent to ask if we had heard last word of Pan-Africanism.
Into the Nigerian economy by the diaspora last year, the senior special assistant to the president on foreign affairs and diaspora matters, Abike Dabiri Erewa, is hopeful that exportation of Nigeria and African culture can bring desired change.
Let's celebrate ourselves, the beauty of who we are as a people, as a country. Never ever accept anybody to stereotype you as a Nigerian.
There is no doubt that Africa and peoples of African descent have made some notable progress in global affairs.
There is nothing wrong. We must learn one language I've just developed, cultural diplomacy.
It is not out of place to discuss a new African identity.
Forging closer cultural links between continental and diaspora Africa is one major issue this international conference seeks to address. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Let's now join Michael in Lagos for more news. Hello, Michael.
Welcome. Progress has been recorded with reference to the management of traffic along Apapa Seaport. Rotimi Oluwagbemi, who monitored the traffic situation, now reports.
Last week, the federal government gave June 24 as the new deadline for the task force on Apapa gridlock to submit its report. When NTA News visited the area, there was orderly movement as police, LASMA, and federal road safety officials were on ground to ensure orderly conduct by motorists.
The road is very free, no parking motor anyhow or this thing. If you have your TDO, you come out from yard and go and load.
Motorists, commuters, as well as students are happy with the development.
Before the road is very full and there's no way motor to pass, and the people, they are fighting themselves because of the truck, but now it's better.
I feel very happy when I come this morning and see that the road is extremely empty, clear.
If tomorrow continues like this, let's say in a month we are expressing it in this way, it's going to be very, very good to us, and the business will move successfully.
I used to feel up, but today I did not feel up.
One more go. I used to come, sometimes I can reach here 9 o'clock, sometimes 10 o'clock. But now, today now, I reach here 7 o'clock.
Respondents say if the free flow of traffic can be sustained, the June 24 deadline will be achieved. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
The minority stakeholders of O&O PLC have appealed to Securities and Exchange Commission to review its decision on the suspension of the company's 2018 annual general meeting. The shareholders at a media briefing in Lagos called on concerned Nigerians bodies to intervene in the interests of the capital market. Abolade Salami has the details.
The Securities and Exchange Commission during the week issued a statement suspending till further notice the annual general meeting of O&O PLC owing to an ongoing litigation. Reacting to the suspension of the annual general meeting, The minority shareholders of O&O PLC expressed displeasure over the decision by SEC to suspend the 2018 financial year report without prior notice to shareholders.
We challenge the Securities and Exchange Commission to tell us how this last-minute suspension of the AGM is in our best interest. We find the current actions of SEC even more alarming, especially after O&O made 180 billion naira loss and has reversed this into 2 consecutive years of profits. Profit that fill us with hope that dividends will soon be paid.
From a 6-month suspension in the trading of O&O shares to a 2-year investigation into the company's operation, shareholders with great concern are calling for the release of the forensic audit reports.
So the question we're asking today, the 2018 financial year have nothing to do with the subject matter. Because what your forensic audit you are relying upon is the previous years you audited. It is not in 2018. So 2018 account must be presented and discussed by the AGM.
And what SEC is doing today is like adding salt to our injuries.
While acknowledging the role of SEC as a regulator in the protection of the capital market, the minority shareholders with one voice are appealing to SEC to be more ethical in the interest of the capital market and shareholders. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports after this commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Father is a palm wine tapper. Before him, his father was a palm wine tapper. Perhaps his own father was a palm wine tapper as well.
He was. His name was Aremu Elemu.
This is one of our neighbors where I live and go to school. My mother has sold Boli and Ekpa since I was born. So did her mom. I have a brother who hasn't been the same since the day he saw his favorite artist play live. And me, I'm going to be a big filmmaker soon. I get enough practice with the data my uncle gets from Glow.
Data is oxygen. Enjoy the best data deal in town. Buy your SIM, dial *777#. Your number 1 4G network nationwide.
Recycled toilet papers are made of waste papers that were once garbage. They are processed with many chemicals to eliminate any residual bacterial content. Since they may contain ink, they are grayish. Familia instead is 100% cellulose, free from harmful chemicals. So it is naturally white, pure and soft.
Just like Mom!
Familia, a smart choice for your family.
The buzz of alarms hails you, captain of the home, lady of the grind. Through the days of close deals and office politics, the carefree laughter of your little ones drives you. Even with school fees wahala, still you continue to push and believe. And these children where you see so, go grow and prosper. Because at Union Bank, there's a loan for everyone. Apply today. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Milo Ready to Drink with Active Go is made with the natural goodness of milk, malt and cocoa with essential vitamins and minerals, so you can pack the winning energy of Milo into your lunchbox to make sure your chump is always ready to keep winning every day. Milo, the energy food drink of future champions.
I thought leaving the country was the best decision for me and my future.
I left for a better life.
We were picked up by immigration officials and sent to a detention camp.
I spent 8 months in the detention camp.
There was no food, no water.
I saw people being beaten like animals.
Some women were raped. Some women were sold as slaves.
I thought I would never see my loved ones again.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life.
I have wasted all my savings.
I have to start all over again.
Migration is a human phenomenon which cannot be stopped. But if we choose to migrate, we advocate that it should be done in a safe, orderly, regular and dignified way, and not in a dangerous and tortuous manner.
This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons.
One Football Confederation, 24 teams, 6 stadiums, 4 cities, 504 African stars, 1 trophy. The Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2019 comes alive from June 21 with the showpiece final on July 19, 2019. Watch the 52 matches of the tournament live on Africa's biggest and largest television network, NTA, in partnership with Hot Sports. Be part of the biggest soccer fiesta in the African continent as the Super Eagles go on a bold mission to clinch the prestigious title for the 4th time, to the excitement of millions of fans across the length and breadth of Nigeria. For inquiries, please contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
And on business news tonight, consumer inflation inches up by 0.03% in May 2019. Mupla.org has details of that, as well as the bear hug on the Nigerian equities. Mupla, what is the bear hug all about?
Yeah, it's just that the bears seem to be tightening their grip on the stock market as we see the weekly depreciation playing out to begin the week.
Okay.
Well, we'll see how that plays out at the end of the week.
Hopefully.
All right, so but we begin with other economic matters. Nigeria's headline inflation increased by 11.4% year-on-year in May 2019, 0.03% higher than April 2019 rate. A breakdown shows that on month-on-month basis, the headline inflation increased by 1.11% in May 2019, 0.17% higher than the rate recorded in April 2019. Urban inflation rate increased by 11.76% year-on-year in May from 11.7% in April 2019, while the rural inflation rate increased by 11.07% in May 2019 from 11.08% in April. The composite food index rose by 13.79% in May 2019 compared to 13.70% in April 2019, caused by increases in the prices of meat, oils and fats, bread and cereals, among others. Meanwhile, investment analyst Nii Akinsiju says there's no cause for alarm over latest inflation figures. Akinsiju enumerates strengthening economic conditions, economic recovery and growth plan of government, and growth in the agricultural sector as factors that would stem the tide.
In inflation, especially when it is above single digits, should create cause for concern. But in the particular case of Nigeria, there are milestones already set in the economic recovery and growth plan. For 2019, I think it's targeted at 12% and above. So to that extent, when you do a comparative analysis, so it's still under the targeted milestone. I think going into quarter 3, of the year, I expect inflation to start falling again.
And the Nigerian stock market failed to sustain gains recorded Friday as market indicators dipped this Monday. At the close of trade, the market dropped by 0.37% to close at 29,937.85 basis points, while market capitalization closed at 13.192 trillion naira. Investors exchanged 2.8 billion shares valued at 3.922 billion naira in 3,390 deals. Wema Bank, Fidelity Bank, and Thomas W.Y. traded the highest volume of shares and were the toast of investors for the day as Fort Oil topped the gainers table. That's business news. We'll take a short break and return.
Hold the bat. Charles wanted to play like his big brother. Victor had skills that matched the best in the land. Never mind, little brother. Drink your Dano milk and keep practicing. So that is what he did. And step by step, glass by glass, the boy grew in spirit and strength. Drink your Dano milk and be strong.
Also available in Dano Cool Now, Dano Slim, and Dano Flavored Milk. Choose Dano. Choose goodness. The Aerial Assurance Challenge.
Oh, thank you. But what assurance can you give our daughter?
Everything. With the new look Ariel, I can even do the laundry.
Prove it then.
Okay. Let's make this stain even tougher. Now, let's wash the cloth. With your detergent and with new look Ariel. Do you believe me now?
Aerial, now in a new look pack.
One Football Confederation, 24 teams, 6 stadiums, 4 cities, 504 African stars, 1 trophy. The Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2019 comes alive from June 21 with the showpiece final on July 19, 2019. Watch the 52 matches of the tournament live on Africa's biggest and largest television network, NTA, in partnership with Hotsports. Be part of the biggest soccer fiesta in the African continent as the Super Eagles go on a bold mission to clinch the prestigious title for the 4th time, to the excitement of millions of fans across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Nigeria's premier sports production and marketing group, Hotsports, partners with the biggest, the largest, and the #1 television network in Africa, the NTA, to give Nigerians a memorable viewing experience. Boost fan support for the Super Eagles to glory in Egypt. For inquiries, please contact Abubakar on 0803-331-0175 and Felix on 0803-308-2375. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
This is NTA Network News. Implementation of water policy and law, adequate funding as well as suitable water sources and facilities have been identified as panacea to water sector reform in Nigeria. The recommendation came up at a meeting held in Akure, Ondo State. Toyin Betere has the details.
Access to safe water, sanitation and hygiene is a core necessity for human survival that a large portion of the world, especially developing countries, still struggle to meet. Recent national survey in Nigeria shows that access of people to basic water supply is 67.9%, in line with the MDG requirement, while access to safely managed water supply is 3.7% and access to basic sanitation is 41.5%. while access to safely managed sanitation is 19.2%, which indicates that there is no improved water and sanitation system in the country.
There is challenge of investment. There's lack of investment. You know, the money that we need is so much, and government needs to put in more money into it.
Worried by this development, stakeholders believed
down to the 32nd